PT Northwest and you play against Powell.
You fast hands that blank.
Okay, you roll first.
You fast hands those focuses.
Hey guys, I'm joined here today by James. Say hi. He's a local community member. I just wanted to highlight because you do something pretty unique. You know, I'm sure that other people have done this before, but you've done a great job of it. You've stuck to your game plan. So what is it exactly that you do?
Well, what we do is when we hit the larger events, we'll take and collect cards from players who clearly have way too many cards. They're usually looking to get rid of commons and uncommons so that they can lower their footprint and make sure that they have just what they need. And what I do is I take those cards and then I start new player events, and I go to different weekly tournaments and I'll find the new players and give them free cards. And that way they can get a better start when they're playing, because in any collectible card game, the entry into this can be really daunting.
Oh yeah, certainly. So this is your commons box here, I believe is what you call it? So
yeah, I call it...
Take it out a bit.
This is the community commons box. What I've done with this is, and this isn't the majority of it, but what I've done is I've done full sets of Awakenings in green, Spirit of Rebellion in blue, Empire at War in yellow, and Legacies in red. And when I find a new player, I'll just grab, you know, a stack and say, hey, what are you looking for? You need Awakenings, you need Spirit, and most of the time, my new players, they're getting one of each, and it's just, here's all the commons, here you go, take them. It's great deck building material, great place to start off with. This box only represents, I'd say, about 10% of what I have. This is just what I want to carry, because if I carried all of them, I would need a small child or a mule to carry everything. So I just, when I'm at home, I do the sorting, and then once it's sorted, I just bring this. And then what I also do is anytime I get starter cards from people, I put those in the starter area here, and then these are all uncommon cards right here. And then when I get promos, I'll also give away free promos to any new player I find. And well, these are, I haven't filed those yet, but.
Makes sense.
Totally. And then originally it just started out as common cards. You know, the common cards are really important in this game. They're great for deck building. You actually need common cards. But then people started asking, they're like, well, what about rare cards? Do you want to take dice? And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. You know, it's dice, there's a cost, there's a value, people want them, but maybe new players would want them. So people started donating the dice. So now, I always carry all the dice on me. So like, for example, this is all the giant stack of gray dice that I have, and then a giant stack
It just keeps coming.
Yeah, it just keeps coming. So this box here is just characters. Yep. So I've got it sorted out to where this is just all the characters that we have, and then this side of the box over here is all the upgrades that we have here. It's much, much larger because I have yet another box.
All upgrade dice?
All upgrade dice. They're all right here. So I try my best to keep it as meticulously ordered as possible, with the exception of the dice in the box just being by color, because
there's not much else you can do.
Yeah, I mean, this stuff's going to shift, it's going to move around, but at least if it's by color and the cards are in order, what I'll have new players do is say, okay, are you looking for something in particular? If you need that, let's get that to you, and we just give it away. And if they aren't looking for something in particular but are trying to build a deck or have ideas, I make suggestions, say, hey, we've got this, we've got this, we've got this, we've got these characters, we've got these upgrades, maybe this will help build your deck out. And the other thing that we've done is because I carry a lot of these dice, I also throw it out to the community as a kind of a community trade pool. So if we have more advanced players who are just looking for something strange, like just this one-off die, like, oh, I need an electro staff and nobody seems to have one. It's like, well, we got an electro staff, so I'll give you an electro staff, please donate back to the box. And oftentimes it's like, oh yeah, sure, they give you 5, 6, 7 rares, whatever. You throw them back in the box and organize it, and then I make sure that these get in the hands of new players. When I do a new player event, I'll usually, well, one of the first new player events I did, I made pre-done decks of a bunch of common cards, some uncommon cards, and each one got 15 rares, where I did one of each color hero for hero and villain, so red, yellow, and blue, because there weren't gray yet. And then I did it for heroes and villain, and then I gave them 8 upgrades.
Right.
Just to fill that box and said, here are your free cards, here are free commons, here's some rares, go and play and build. So I really want to get these in the hands of players because, again, the entry fee, the entry cost of this game is just, it can be very daunting. And when you get this, I don't want to say it's like, you know, crack or something like that, but you've heard gamer crack, you know, they talk about, oh, first hit's free. Well, this is kind of the first hit, you know. You can edit that out.
No,
I'm sure,
okay.
yeah, you can totally edit that out.
No, I think that one of the great things about community boxes in general is just that, as you said, especially the more serious gamers, we buy 5 boxes and we have 18 force friends. Or, you know, whatever it may be, that one die that you just got all of them, and then we'll have 0 of another. You know, it's just a, as you said, it's a simple way to trade. And then on top of that, bringing in new players is always better. The more players at a local tournaments, the better they'll be.
Yep.
The more the community grows, the better the game, the longer it will last.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I know that I personally want to be playing SW Destiny, or Star Wars Destiny. I can just say it. Like, you know, 5 years from now, I want to still be playing it because it's a really fun card game. I really enjoy it, and if we're going to be doing that, we have to have new players joining.
Yep, absolutely.
So, can you point to any specific examples? Do you think this is definitely helping?
Yeah, actually I do. I think that over the course of my new player events that I run at Fantasy Flight Games here and the weekly tournaments that I do go to, Minnesota is kind of a weird environment because we are the home of Fantasy Flight Games. But also, if you look on our Facebook page, if you were unemployed and had all the free time in the world, you could do like 17 events a week. I mean, it's an insane amount of events. I don't hit all of those events. I hit maybe 1 a week or 2 a week. I hit as many events as I can before my wife and kid will kill me. Just generally 1 or 2 a week. But the players come out, I advertise and say, hey, we're bringing the new player box. We've had people just stop by, say, we're curious, we just bought a starter, and I'm like, oh, here, take some free cards, just take them, please, take them. It's not that I'm trying to get rid of them, I just want people to have more options when they play. I've had people ask me, say, hey, I want to get my buddy in this, do you think I can grab some commons? Absolutely, take some commons. And then the very next week, they're there at the store, they're trying out a deck, they're playing it, they're playing the first couple of games. And that's kind of the whole point of this, is to make sure that the veterans who are going to donate I'm just the vehicle to make sure that these get out to whoever needs them.
Part of the reason I'm asking these, or making this video in general, is so that other communities can take this idea and implement their own version of it. Do you have any advice for somebody who's like, oh yeah, we have, you know, 15 local players, I should start a community commons box so that when we get that 16th player, it's easier for them. Do you know, like, time-wise, like any, you know, time-saving strategies?
Well, as far as time-saving strategies, it's all about organization. You have to make sure this stuff is organized. And like I said, with the commons pool that I have here, this is probably 1/10 of the cards that I have. And every time I end up getting more to the commons pool, I will dedicate time to making sure that I'm sorting all those cards, getting them into where they need to go, and then turning them into what I can distribute very, very quickly. So organization is the biggest part of this whole operation. And the thing that can be daunting is that for a person like me, I actually enjoy sorting cards. There's just something really relaxing about just sorting them and the way you sort cards and getting everything organized. I just kind of like that. One of the things I dislike about doing it is when you get some of the younger players, they tend to be kind of grabby and they just grab out of there. It's like, you're ruining my organization system. I'll give you free stuff, I promise. Just tell me what you're doing first. So there's a lot of work in actually organizing everything. But what I'll do is while for example, if a player is just looking through the characters and they find they're like, oh, I need a First Order Stormtrooper, I have them put it down, and while they're grabbing the cards, I'll find the die and I'll grab the die and I'll pair it up and say, oh, here's your card, here's your die, go ahead, take it, it's all yours. That's the biggest part of it, is the organization. The other thing that I would suggest is only carry what you can distribute. Like I said, this is a very small amount of the commons that I have, and I used to carry everything, and that's impossible. No one can do that. So I just carry what I can distribute on hand, And when I set up new player events, then I go through all the boxes again. Like the one that I'm running here at Fantasy Flight on June 2nd, I'm actually going to be building decks out of these dice that when the players come in, it's like, here's your free deck, here are your free cards, here you go. You can actually play this deck. It's a playable deck. And you can take the stuff home and you know, play at home or do whatever you want to do. So organization, I think, is really the big thing. The other thing about this that I think is really important is communication. You have to be able to communicate that A, you're starting a commons box, that you're maintaining a commons box, but none of that means anything if nobody knows you've got it.
Right.
So you've got to be able to distribute the commons and the uncommons and the rares to people. So if people don't know who you are and they don't know where you're going to be and they don't know how to get the stuff out of your hands, you're just going to end up on an episode of Hoarders. Do they have a geeky episode of Hoarders where they just find like comic books and Star Wars Destiny and all sorts of other gamer stuff?
I don't know. So, final thing here. We may as well demonstrate how this works.
Oh boy.
So, I have some cards.
Some
Just
cards.
a few. There are also dice at the bottom, believe it or not. But if you somehow in my 5 boxes and the many events that I've gotten 1 packet in Legacies, I still have, I believe, 0 Force Friends. So could I get my hand on a Force Friend?
You And
have it, guys.
That's awesome. You got a Force Friend. And funny as this sounds, I don't have it here, but I noticed somebody pulled a pack. They pulled a Force Friend out of a pack, and they left it on top of the box here. So
nice.
I left it over the table though. So
that's fine.
But I definitely 100% would have gotten you your Force Friend. And obviously, you're making an amazing donation to the Commons pool here that I now get to sort.
I tried to sort as much as I could, but I'll admit I ran out of time. I was throwing them all together this afternoon, but I had to drop off my brother at his graduation. So.
You know, it's actually okay. I mean, I take cards however they are. I end up putting them into my own sorting method so that I can find them. I start by color, then I start by I just go numerically, except I sort them by color. So I've got red cards, yellow cards, blue cards, gray cards, battlegrounds, plots all together, and then numerically. So I've gotten to know the symbols really quickly. Like the way I end up sorting in this, it's kind of dorky, but I start by sorting them upside down. So instead of looking at the card like this, I look at it like this. I'm just looking at this corner up here, going, "What's my symbol?" And I'm sorting out the symbols. And then I sort out by hero villain, and then and then that way I'm getting these really manageable little piles of 5 or 6 cards that I just done and throw it out there. Probably helps that I dealt blackjack for a couple of years.
Probably. Well, in any case, thank you for doing this video with us.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for the help that you do for our community. Yeah. Minnesota's pretty awesome. As you said, lots of events every night of the week basically.
Oh yeah.
This definitely is a huge help to anybody who just sees an event like, hey, can I get into this? And you'd be like,
yes.
Well, yeah, we have a Commons box actually. Would you like some free cards?
Yeah. And people know about it on the Facebook page, and people people directly to me. They say, James, you got the Commons box. Yeah, let's put people up. Let's get them going.
Awesome. Well, guys, we will potentially do another one of these in the future with somebody else, but this is our first community little building video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you.